Talk to your blood, and it will obey. These words may sound strange to the reasoning mind, but they reveal a truth hidden in plain sight. Within you there is a silent power that governs every heartbeat, every breath, every rhythm of life. It is your subconscious mind, the great builder and healer, the unseen physician that works tirelessly to keep you alive. Yet this power does not act blindly. It listens, it responds, it obeys the commands you give it through thought, faith, and inner conviction. In this message, I will show you the secret of divine order. You will discover how the hidden forces of belief shape the body, how the language you speak to yourself is carried into your very blood, and how harmony is restored when you align with higher truth. There is a healing energy within thought itself, and when directed with purpose, it can change the chemistry of your being. This is not speculation, it is law, the law of the mind that works for all, whether understood or ignored. Few realize that fear, doubt, and self-condemnation can disorder the body as surely as poison in the veins. Yet fewer still know that words of faith, gratitude, and assurance can cleanse, renew, and strengthen the life force. In the next few minutes you will learn how to speak to your inner world so that it answers with health, peace, and strength. You will see how mindfulness and calm attention can bring mastery over the very currents of your destiny. Stay with me until the end, for a single idea may open the door to a life you never thought possible. Welcome to Miracle Mind. Subscribe now and let us walk together into the secret place of power. There is within you a physician who never sleeps. It is not found in a hospital or a clinic, but in the silent depths of your own mind. This inner healer regulates the heartbeat, circulates the blood, repairs the tissues, and renews the cells without any command from your conscious self. You do not instruct it to digest your food or to close a wound, it knows. This wisdom is the life principle of the subconscious mind, yet though it works silently, it is not beyond your influence. The subconscious accepts impressions as a fertile soil accepts seeds. When you plant thoughts of health, harmony, and divine order, it carries out these commands with unfailing accuracy. Just as surely when you feed it seeds of fear, doubt, and disease, it translates those images into the language of the body. Many ailments are not accidents of nature, but reflections of discordant thoughts impressed upon the inner life. Consider the man who constantly worries about his heart. His fear becomes an image, and the subconscious obeys. His pulse grows irregular, his strength declines, and what began as thought takes form as symptom. But the same law works in reverse. When he learns to speak words of calm assurance, when he sees his heart as strong and faithful in its rhythm, the subconscious receives a new instruction. Slowly, the body answers to the image of wholeness. The discipline is simple, though it requires vigilance. Guard the gates of your mind. Direct the inner dialogue toward harmony. Speak gently to yourself of life, of strength, of peace. Form clear mental pictures of vitality, and hold them with quiet faith. For the silent physician within you always listens, always responds, and always creates according to the pattern you impress upon it. Faith is the quiet certainty that life's healing power is already present within you. It is not the restless hope that something might happen one day, but the calm assurance that the answer is here now, unfolding in silence. When the mind rests in this conviction, the body responds as a faithful servant. The rhythm of the heart steadies, the nerves find balance, and every cell begins to echo the harmony of belief. This is why doubt is so destructive. A thought of fear, repeated often, is a command to the subconscious to produce more of its likeness. But faith, steady and unwavering, is a higher command. It aligns conscious desire with the deeper law of life. The moment this union takes place, the healing process begins. Gratitude strengthens this union. To give thanks even before the evidence appears, is to acknowledge that the unseen work is already complete. Gratitude impresses the subconscious with the feeling of fulfillment, and the body adjusts to match that inner state. In the same way, visualization acts as a blueprint. When you see yourself whole, strong, and radiant in the theater of your mind, you are giving the subconscious a pattern to follow. Faith requires discipline. It asks you to return again and again to thoughts of life and order, even when appearances suggest otherwise. It is not the forceful pushing of the will, but the gentle persistence of trust. Each time you choose a thought of harmony, each time you speak words of peace, you are planting seeds in the rich soil within. And in due season those seeds blossom into health and wholeness, for the subconscious does not fail to bring forth what is impressed upon it, with conviction, gratitude, and love. Every word you speak to yourself carries power. The body listens more closely than you may think, for it is guided by the silent intelligence of the subconscious. This inner mind does not question or argue, it accepts the impressions given to it, especially those spoken with feeling. Words charged with emotion are like commands, and the blood, the nerves, the organs quietly respond. There are those who have spoken to their hearts saying, "You are strong, faithful and steady," and soon the rhythm of life corrected itself. Others have blessed their blood, affirming, "You flow freely, cleansing and nourishing every cell," and the body obeyed. Such words are not mere sounds, they are patterns impressed upon the invisible intelligence within. The discipline is to speak with gratitude, not desperation. To give thanks that order is already present, is to affirm that the healing is underway. Gratitude lifts the tone of the words, clothing them in conviction. In the same way, visualization strengthens the command. To see the blood moving in harmony, to picture the body glowing with vitality, is to hand the subconscious a vivid picture to reproduce. It is easy to forget and speak words of fear. A complaint, a careless statement of weakness, also enters the inner mind and takes root. This is why mindfulness is essential. The tongue must become a tool of healing, and the mind a guardian at the gate. When words, gratitude, and vision move together in harmony, the body aligns itself with divine order. Every cell responds to the quiet authority of faith-filled speech. In this way, language becomes more than communication, it becomes creation, writing new instructions into the very fabric of life. The pictures you hold in the quiet of your mind become instructions for the body. Imagination is not idle play, it is the bridge between thought and biology. Each image impressed upon the inner self is received as a pattern to be followed. When you see your blood flowing smoothly, when you picture your body radiant with health, the subconscious accepts this vision and begins to organize life accordingly. There was once a man who suffered from poor circulation. Instead of surrendering to despair, he closed his eyes each night and imagined a river, clear and strong, moving freely through every part of him. He gave thanks for this inner vision, even before he felt the change. In time his body began to mirror the image he faithfully rehearsed, for the subconscious cannot distinguish between real experience and vividly imagined reality. Gratitude magnifies this process. By feeling thankful for health, while still in the act of visualization, you impress the subconscious with the sense that the healing is already complete. Gratitude adds warmth and emotion to the picture, making it vivid and irresistible to the deeper mind. Discipline is required, for stray thoughts of weakness or fear will attempt to intrude. Yet each time you return to the image of harmony, you strengthen its hold. The subconscious does not respond to scattered impressions but to steady, repeated patterns. Hold the vision with quiet persistence, and it becomes the inner blueprint that guides cellular life. Imagination, joined with gratitude and disciplined thought, is more than a dream. It is the creative act of shaping the body from within, calling forth harmony, balance, and vitality. In this way, every inner picture becomes a seed of healing, destined to blossom into visible reality. Every affirmation is a seed of life planted in the garden of the subconscious. Spoken with sincerity and faith, words such as "divine order governs my whole being" carry a creative force far greater than the surface mind can measure. The subconscious does not argue or reason, it accepts these words and begins to shape them into lived experience. Consider the person who has long battled with fear. Each night before sleep, instead of rehearsing worry, he repeats gently, "Peace fills my mind. Divine order governs my whole being." At first the words feel like empty sounds, but repetition waters the seed. Over days and weeks the old patterns of anxiety weaken. In their place, calmness begins to grow. This is the hidden medicine of affirmation. Words alone are not enough, they must be clothed in gratitude. When you give thanks for the truth you are affirming, you infuse it with the feeling of fulfillment. Gratitude declares that the healing is not a future hope but a present reality. Visualization strengthens this effect. To see yourself radiant with life while affirming words of wholeness is to hand the subconscious both image and instruction, a complete pattern to bring forth. Discipline is the secret key. An affirmation repeated once and forgotten has little power, but a phrase spoken daily, morning and night, becomes etched into the inner mind. Over time it dissolves old fears, corrects false beliefs, and restores balance to the soul. Every word you speak to yourself is a prescription. Every affirmation is spiritual medicine. Spoken with faith, gratitude, and persistence, it reorders the hidden life within, and what is established in the depths soon rises to the surface as health, strength, and peace. Gratitude is the language of completion. It is the quiet declaration that what you seek is already yours, hidden in the unseen but moving toward expression. When you give thanks for health before it appears, you are telling the subconscious that the work is already accomplished. And because the subconscious takes every impression as fact, it begins to release energy and order into the body to match this state of fulfillment. There was once a woman who struggled with sleepless nights. Instead of dwelling on her restlessness, she began to whisper in the dark, "Thank you for my deep, peaceful sleep. Thank you for the calm that fills my mind." At first the words seemed hollow, but she persisted, clothing them with genuine gratitude. Slowly the subconscious accepted her thanksgiving as truth. Soon her body obeyed, and rest returned as naturally as the rising sun. Gratitude works because it shifts desire into possession. It transforms longing into the assurance that the blessing is already present. When you visualize yourself whole, and then give thanks as though it is already so, you are sealing the image with emotional power. The subconscious receives not only the picture but the feeling of completion, and it moves to reproduce that state in your outer life. Discipline is required, for the mind easily slips into complaint and doubt. Gratitude must be chosen again and again, until it becomes the natural rhythm of thought. Each word of thanks is a reminder that divine order is active, that healing and renewal are flowing in silence. In this way, gratitude is more than courtesy. It is a creative act, a spiritual magnet that draws the unseen into form. By giving thanks before the evidence appears, you open the door for life itself to pour through you in harmony and strength. There is a quiet stream of intelligence flowing through you, guiding every cell, every function, every movement of life. This wisdom beats the heart without effort, repairs the skin without command, and renews the body in silence. It does not need to be created, it is already present, waiting only for your alignment. Healing begins not by forcing or striving, but by yielding to this divine order that governs all things. Think of a man standing in a river. If he fights the current, he exhausts himself. If he turns and moves with the flow, he is carried with ease. In the same way, inner healing is found in surrender, allowing the intelligence within to do its perfect work. Struggle, resistance, and fear block the current. Trust, calmness, and gratitude open the way. Gratitude, especially, acts as a signal of alignment. When you give thanks for health before it appears, you are saying to the inner mind, "I accept that divine order is already." This attitude softens resistance and allows the healing current to flow unhindered. Visualization strengthens this alignment. To picture light filling the body, to see every cell radiant with vitality, is to offer the subconscious a clear direction. The inner intelligence takes that image and quietly fulfills it. Discipline in thought is required. The mind must be trained to turn away from fear and complaint, for each negative word is a barrier against the current. With persistence, the habit of trust replaces doubt, and alignment becomes natural. Healing is not something to chase, it is something to allow. When you surrender to the divine intelligence already present in you, harmony is restored, energy is released, and the silent physician goes to work in perfect order. The mind is a garden, and every thought is a seed. Whether you think of health or illness, harmony or discord, each impression finds its way into the soil of the subconscious. In time these seeds grow into conditions of body and circumstance. This is why mindfulness is so vital. It is the watchman at the gate, allowing only those thoughts that bring life and quietly dismissing the rest. There was once a man who constantly spoke of his ailments. Every conversation turned to his pain, every thought rehearsed his weakness. Unknowingly, he was planting seeds of illness again and again, but when he learned to redirect his words, to affirm quietly, "Strength fills me, peace steadies me," the soil of his mind began to change. Slowly his body reflected the new crop of thought. Mindfulness is not harsh control, but gentle awareness. It is the art of noticing what enters the mind, and choosing to return, again and again, to thoughts that uplift. Gratitude becomes a powerful tool here. When you give thanks for the smallest signs of health and order, you train the mind to focus on life, rather than fear. Visualization, too, reinforces this discipline. Each time you see yourself well and whole, you are planting seeds of vitality. The practice requires persistence. Doubt will try to creep in, complaint will knock at the door, but mindfulness refuses them entry. With each choice for calm, constructive thought, the inner life aligns more deeply with healing power. Over time, the subconscious becomes filled with images of harmony, and the body responds in kind. To guard the gate of thought is to guard the future of your health, for life always follows the seeds you plant within. True mastery begins with the recognition that you are not at the mercy of the body. You are not a victim of moods, impulses, or passing sensations. You are the director, and the body is the instrument. This authority is exercised through self-suggestion, the deliberate use of words, images, and faith, to shape the inner life. Consider the woman who faced constant fatigue. Each morning she would rise and declare, "I am weary, I am drained." Her subconscious accepted these words as law, and the body responded accordingly. But when she learned the practice of self-suggestion, she began a new discipline. She affirmed gently, "Strength fills me, life renews me now." Along with these words, she pictured herself walking with energy, her face bright, her steps light. Over time, her subconscious adopted the new pattern, and her body obeyed. This is the secret of mastery. It is not the attempt to dominate or to force, but to harmonize your conscious direction with the law of belief. Words, when repeated with faith, become instructions. Images, when held with gratitude, become blueprints. Together they form the language by which the subconscious is guided. Gratitude strengthens the command. When you give thanks for the very thing you affirm, you add the feeling of fulfillment to the suggestion. Visualization deepens it further, providing the subconscious with a vivid picture to manifest. Discipline, of course, is required. One stray suggestion will not undo the work, but repeated negativity can weaken the seed. Thus, mastery is the steady, patient cultivation of thought. In this way, you become ruler, not over others, but over your own temple. Through self-suggestion, you establish order within, and the body, mind, and spirit fall into harmony with the divine law of life. Divine order is not something to call upon only in times of sickness or fear. It is meant to be the steady rhythm of daily living, a quiet harmony woven into each moment. When the mind is trained to dwell on life, peace, and strength, the subconscious is continually renewed, and health becomes a natural state, rather than an emergency response. Think of the person who begins and ends the day with words of life. Each morning they affirm, "Wholeness governs my being, peace guides my steps." Each night before sleep, they give thanks for the harmony of the day, no matter how small. Over time, this rhythm shapes the subconscious. The body grows accustomed to vitality, the mind leans toward calm, and even in challenge, balance is quickly restored. Visualization deepens the practice. To picture the body glowing with health, the mind at ease, the day unfolding in order, is to impress the subconscious with images it eagerly brings into form. Gratitude amplifies it further. By thanking life for harmony, already present, even before the evidence appears, you signal acceptance. The subconscious then organizes the unseen currents to match that inner conviction. Discipline is essential, for daily life brings distractions, complaints, and fears. But each return to gratitude, each affirmation of order, each image of harmony, strengthens the foundation. With persistence, this becomes second nature, like breathing or walking. Living in divine order daily is not a burden but a liberation. It frees you from the cycle of reacting to crisis, and teaches you to abide in health, peace, and vitality as your natural state. The subconscious, continually guided by faith-filled thoughts, becomes a wellspring of renewal, and life unfolds in quiet perfection. The great secret is not hidden in distant places, it lives within you, in the quiet power of your own subconscious mind. This inner life responds faithfully to every word, every image, every feeling you impress upon it. When you speak with faith, when you imagine harmony, when you give thanks as though the blessing is already yours, you awaken the law of divine order. Health, peace, and strength are not things you must chase. They are natural expressions of the life force within, waiting for your permission to flow freely.
By choosing your thoughts with care, by guarding your words, by practicing gratitude and visualization each day, you align yourself with this power. Slowly but surely, the body and mind begin to reflect the order you have planted in the depths. Let this teaching be more than inspiration, let it become practice. Speak gently to your body, bless your life with words of harmony, and hold images of wholeness with calm conviction. In doing so, you discover that divine order is not a hope for tomorrow, it is a reality unfolding now. Thank you for sharing this time of reflection. May peace and healing fill your path. If this message has touched you, remember to like this video and subscribe to Miracle Mind, where we continue to explore the hidden powers within you. Together we walk in faith, in gratitude, and in the quiet assurance that life is always moving in perfect order.